Welcome to your NADA Introduction to the Office Manager Professional Series training. As an office manager, you are primarily responsible for managing the dealership's cash flow, keeping schedules accurate, and performing key daily activities. All departments of the dealership need your help with these tasks. Within the dealership, there are 4 separate departments that each function as their own business: new vehicles, pre-owned, services, and parts. If you have a body shop, this number expands to 5 departments. All these departments have different needs while also being similar. A great example of all this coming together is how the profit and loss statements combine into one for the whole dealership. The financial statements start separate, then unite. As an office manager, you and your team help unify all departments with proper cash handling and reporting techniques that affect every area of the dealership. No matter what side of the business, cash must be expertly handled to pay expenses, to maintain liquidity, and ultimately, to keep your dealership in business. It may surprise some to learn that a typical dealership earns or keeps only 5 cents of every dollar in gross profits in the new vehicles department. Gross profit is the difference between the cost of the vehicle purchased from the manufacturer minus the price it was sold to the customer for. Oftentimes, gross profit is not even made on the sale of new vehicles. The gross profit usually comes instead from the F&I department, commissions via lending, service contracts, gap insurance, prepaid maintenance, and manufacturer incentive money. As you can see, it takes a lot of effort to get this gross profit and create a cycle of repeat business. That is why customer retention is a huge factor for gross profit, because you want customers to return to your dealership for service, to purchase other new or pre-owned vehicles, and to give word-of-mouth recommendations. No matter how gross profits enter a dealership, they exit in many directions: wages, commissions, floor plan interest, supplies, rent, insurance, taxes, utilities, advertisements, DMS software, and other costs. In all departments, we will lose money if these expenses exceed gross profits. The money that is left over after expenses are subtracted from gross profit is called net profit. Here, that original 5 cents of gross profit becomes just 2 pennies of net profit. Net profits are the total dealership sales minus cost of sales minus operational expenses plus net adds and deducts. They are generated from the sale of vehicles, parts, and services offered. As you recall, the sale price minus the cost of goods sold is gross profits. Sales minus cost of sales minus the operating expenses plus net adds and deducts is net profit. No matter if we are looking at gross or net profit, profits are not equal to cash. You may be wondering what the difference between profit and cash is. Profit, as mentioned, comes from making more money on selling something than it costs to acquire it or provide the service, while profits, by definition, involve gaining more cash than was originally spent. That is where the relationship between profit and cash ends. A dealership can still be in financial trouble even if it turns high profits, because there still might be 0 cash left over to run the business. The cash from profit is usually either immediately allocated and spent or not available to use right away. It is often tied up in assets and expenses. To show how cash and profit are not the same, let's continue our example of making gross profit on a new vehicle sold. Dealers have a line of credit from their lender to finance the vehicle, which is called floor plan. After a sale, the floor plan must be paid off almost immediately, usually within 1 to 3 days. The dealer, on the other hand, must wait for the lender to process the contracts in transit, CIT. To even get to that point, however, you must also take time beforehand to complete all the sales-associated paperwork. It is true that gross profit was made on the sale, but most of the cash gained from that gross profit was instantly taken away to pay off the floor plan. You still had to wait for your CIT to be processed, while other expenses pile up as normal. You cannot pay bills with profit. You can only pay bills with cash. It is easy to remember the difference this way. $50,000 in profit is not the same as $50,000 in cash. Remember, you cannot pay your bills with profit, only with cash. Cash is king over profit. You keep cash free to move where the business needs it. Your role as an office manager is simply this: you are the best business partner your dealership has. You are an asset manager. Keep this in mind as you continue through the Office Manager Professional Development Series.